Hey, future millionaire, are you ready to unlock the secrets behind an application which is earning hundreds of millions each year and improving the lives of millions? Because today, we're deep diving into the captivating world of Duolingo and tricks they used to revolutionize language learning. Our journey begins with a creator driven by one powerful cause: to improve people's lives with education.
The best subject to start with was teaching foreign languages. English can truly transform your life. In most countries in the world, knowledge of English can significantly increase your income potential. If you are a waiter and you learn English, now you can be a waiter at a hotel and make more money. This is pretty different than many other subjects. For example, take math. In the case of math, just knowledge of math does not increase your income potential, because usually you have to learn math to then learn physics, to then become a civil engineer. Like, that's how you make more money.
Basically, it is important to understand available tools, such as educating people at scale, and then see where they cross with the needs of the target audience, such as wishing to get a well-paid job. Afterward, evaluate where the biggest impact will be. This step is the most important one, because if the direction is wrong, then putting effort can get further away from the goal. That is why spending extra time in this step saves a lot of time down the line. On the tool side, there are multiple ways to generate ideas. One way is by taking from one industry and implementing in another, such as by taking elements from video games and implementing them into learning. We get gamification. Another way is to get rid of an element, such as learning things without a human teacher. We get automated teaching. On the needs side, usually it is to find a pain point, and its importance can be evaluated by understanding how the target audience prioritizes their needs. For example, for one type of audience, health is very important, because if a person is dead, then cannot enjoy anything else in this world. They wish to live long to see as much as possible, while other type of audience will prioritize pleasure over health, because what point to live if cannot enjoy life to the fullest? They prioritize quality over quantity, intensity over duration. That is why a solution who improves health by compromising on pleasure will be much more successful with one audience than another. After picking the most impactful direction, need to use core value-based design in order to put all effort in one direction. Otherwise, each wheel might end up pulling in a different direction and all that effort can get nowhere. There should be one or two core values which do not contradict, because each additional massively increases complexity and limits possibilities. If I must formulate Duolingo's core value, then it is to turn learning into a game. All the tricks which will be discussed stem from this trunk. The vision to be more than just another application, to be a thrilling adventure where every lesson is an exciting step closer to unlocking people's linguistic potential, be it to more enjoy traveling or get better paid jobs. Hope you will enjoy learning how certain Duolingo's elements use the properties of the human mind. Let's start with leaderboards. They function based on a psychological phenomenon called social comparison. Basically, we judge ourselves by comparing to others, and vice versa. And it can motivate by igniting desire to be better than rivals, even elevate our status, or just show off to get admiration, approving our status. Of course, additionally, loss aversion kicks in when we try to maintain status, being afraid of losing it. Duolingo uses streaks to extra leverage loss aversion because people are much more motivated by potential to lose something than to gain. Learning a language might be daunting, like a seemingly insurmountable mountain. That is why achievements are so useful to turn huge goals into smaller, conquerable peaks by breaking down the desired outcome into smaller, manageable chunks. Because the human subconscious loves to concentrate on the present moment, bite-size and immediately actual information much more effectively provide visible progress and put a mind on ease. That is why, to avoid overwhelming it, must avoid having too many elements, being too vague or abstract. Correctly implemented, these elements foster a sense of community and accountability. Duolingo knows how to talk to the human subconscious, which is like a little child. That is why no wonder that there is a visual feedback in the form of animated reactions, such as lovable cartoon characters giving a thumbs up for acing a lesson, becoming personal cheerleaders. Because it provides immediate, stimulating, and visible encouragement, it turns the learning journey into a dynamic, engaging spectacle. Especially if people can empathize with the cartoon characters, then their excitement becomes contagious. It can even create social facilitation when people perform better because they know that are watched by others. It also massively reduces social inhibition, performing worse due to presence of others, because there are no other people, especially when making mistakes and having much slower progress than others. Even on Duolingo's leaderboards can be anonymous, if chosen to. After all, feeling judged, ashamed, can really demotivate. But all these great tricks would not matter if there was no time to use the application, because life can be hectic. Finding time to learn a new language can be challenging. That is why the secret sauce is that Duolingo is available on the phone, so it is always at the user's fingertips and offers bite-sized lessons, often under 5 minutes. That is why people can exercise whenever and wherever they want. Be it waiting for a bus, cleaning teeth in home or eating outside home, be it in the middle of day or night. This accessibility turns every free moment into a language learning opportunity. That is why the bigger is friction. That is, steps between wanting to do a thing and doing it, the lower chance that the thing will be done. Because the subconscious automatically does cost-reward analysis. More the action is deemed not desirable, the more inner resistance there will be. But the vice versa is also true. Phones have the lowest friction, then computers take more commitment, and on the site learning much more, such as time in the transitions, rigidness of the graphic, etc. Because learning languages is a long process, low friction is especially important for more sustainable progress. To create an environment for consistent practice, the friction is made even lower by using notifications, which have different roles, depending where people are in their learning journeys. At the beginning, they remind about the task, lowering the friction of remembering to do the task. But when the habit is formed, then become triggers, igniting people's commitment to conquer new linguistic heights. Boredom is the enemy of progress. That's why, to prevent monotony, this app offers a multi-sensory experience, be it visual or audio, which also caters different types of learners. Moreover, a vast variety of exercises that stimulate the mind in different ways, be it listening to a funny story, matching words, or translating sentences. Plus, it seamlessly integrates cultural elements, making language learning experience more immersive and improving awareness of the said cultural context. Do you still remember design based on core values and Duolingo creators' goal? You can see it in the fact that Duolingo is for free, because it lowers the entry threshold, therefore is available for many more people, creating a bigger impact. Of course, nothing is perfect. That is why Duolingo regularly updates its courses and features, incorporating user feedback and adapting to the evolving landscape of language learning. This commitment to constant improvement keeps the platform relevant and effective. Just shows that the application does not need to be perfect from the get-go, only good enough, and the rest can be improved by iterating. Of course, marketing is very important, especially the application's name and logo. In Duolingo's case, it conveys the core idea of the application, duo meaning two, and lingo, associating with a language. Also, an owl being a symbol of knowledge and learning. In essence, Duolingo's success lies in its ability to blend traditional language teaching methodologies with gamification and automatization, also massively increasing accessibility, lowering friction, in the result successfully creating an environment where learning a new language is not only very efficiently educational, but also enjoyable. That is why I cannot wait to use the learnt tricks from Duolingo to make my own super application. Step 1. Identifying an impactful goal. Foundation of any transformative project lies in establishing a goal that resonates deeply. Few objectives are as meaningful as saving lives while simultaneously enhancing their quality. Addressing mental health challenges meets this criterion, offering the potential to not only prevent tragic outcomes, but also enable individuals to live more fulfilling lives. Step 2. leveraging available tools. With modern advancements, technology such as mobile applications can serve as powerful tools for addressing mental health challenges. These solutions integrate expertise in mental health, software engineering, and game design. Mental health interventions are particularly urgent given the rising prevalence of mental health issues, which are becoming leading causes of death in developed countries. Even in cases where life isn't lost, the quality of life suffers significantly due to unhealthy coping mechanisms like substance abuse or overeating, which also deteriorate physical health. The situation is made even worse by companies exploiting vulnerable people who have mental health problems, including by using mobile applications. For instance, people spending all their savings gambling with loot boxes. Additionally, mental health-oriented solutions are much easier scalable than physical, such as surgeries. Step 3. Understanding the pain points. The first key challenge is limited access to care. A shortage of mental health professionals leaves many individuals without necessary support. Scalable solutions, such as mobile applications, could ease the burden on healthcare systems. The other key challenge is the cultural barriers. Even if there would be enough specialists, it would matter little, because cultural stigma significantly hinders seeking help. For example, in post-Soviet countries like Latvia and Lithuania, distrust in mental health professionals persists due to historical abuses during the USSR era, where psychiatric institutions were weaponized for political purposes, becoming prisons with extra steps. If you, for example, spoke against the regime or had forbidden literature, you could end up imprisoned in a psych ward. Even nowadays, many people are afraid that talking about their mental health problems with mental health professionals might be a one-way ticket to house for crazies. Even more, perceive it as a weakness, which will make them seem subhuman in other people's eyes. It even reflects in language, calling the places houses for crazies instead of psychiatric hospitals. Despite the fall of the USSR over 3 decades ago, these fears and stigmas are deeply rooted, still passed down through generations. Step 4. Choosing the most impactful direction. Prevention is consistently more effective than cure because it confronts the problem before it spreads and becomes much more powerful. Also, there is no damage caused by the problem. From the prevention approach stems that it is easier to change the mindset of people whose mind is a more blank slate, malleable, such as kids, than ones with rooted harmful beliefs, such as old people. As an additional benefit, kids will have more time to enjoy the better mindset and impact the world. A key goal is to normalize mental health care, equating psychiatric hospitals with any other healthcare facility. Just as a broken bone requires treatment in a hospital, a mind affected by depression or trauma deserves care without stigma. Another aspect is communication. Especially with the youngest generations, the biggest problem is not the lack of information, but the opposite. There is too much harmful information about mental health, but even having qualitative information is only a beginning, because many self-development problems are not intellectual, that is, not knowing what to do, but emotional, that is, having not enough inner drive to do it. Shifting mindsets often requires more than explanation or even understanding why that mindset is good to have. The best way is to seemingly self-realize the mindset, although in reality, the user is cleverly guided by the developer's invisible hand. The easiest place to build a bridge between known and unknown is where the both sides are the closest, by using bridging similes, analogies. In this case, games, because it is a very helpful tool to practically test out hypotheses, instead of theorizing all day long. Also interactive. Experiential learning is much more effective than one-way, passive such as a lecture. I lost once, so I will never play this game again, said no real gamer ever, but sadly, a part of the same people make an exception about the biggest game of them all, life. If only their mindsets could bridge the gap between games and real life, even major setbacks would feel as a sign to learn from mistakes and do better the next time, instead of the ultimate end. Luckily, games like Dark Souls, though not explicitly designed for mental health, have helped players develop persistence and problem-solving skills applicable to real-life situations, so they can live a more satisfactory life. Also, smartphones are a great fit, because users can feel having much more privacy on them and a much lower entry barrier to afford them. Step 5. Defining core values. Establishing guiding principles against which every decision will be judged is essential for decision-making throughout the project. In this case, they are prevention-focused, prioritizing addressing issues before they escalate, and player-driven, ensuring users feel they are reaching conclusions on their own, fostering empowerment and ownership of their growth. Step 6. Implementation. I have a few ideas, such as practical implementation could involve using it as a classroom tool. Imagine that all students in a class are playing a game, and you as one of the students are stuck in a level. What would you do? Give up? Try harder no matter what? Give feedback, which all can hear. Ask for help from a classmate or teacher. Afterward, reactions could be discussed, and educators reveal that the level was intentionally designed to be impossible to complete, unless a player had a totally outside-of-the-box solution, for example, a platformer, where needs to press an invisible button to progress. It should demonstrate the value of seeking help and gently nudge to rethink used strategies. After, to pull out the same trick the next level and see how players can easily overcome it. Then discuss how the first time it was so difficult and how easy it was the second time. The next level pulls a totally different out-of-the-box solution, and after discussing people's reactions, at the end put in words what they, in an ideal scenario, have internalized. Explain that sometimes people get stuck due to having limited perspective, and it is much easier to ask for help from trustworthy people who know the answers, or at least to help to figure them out. And when it is enough understood, then use as an analogy to talk about mental health aspects. Older generations giving not up-to-date tutorials, which create blind zones and unnecessary hardships like in the first level. Of course, the mentioned idea is only in a draft stage, so needs to be improved and is more meant to visualize the point. The next steps can majorly vary, because the product very impacts them, so we'll go over general advice. As the project develops, iterating based on feedback and gradually scaling the solution will be key. Like leverage available support, such as if you live in the EU, you might even apply for the EU project and get financial, guidance, and other help. Similar is with appropriate non-governmental organizations, especially if you need help with implementation and their specialization such as mental health. Also, if you are having a game-based solution, then I suggest Godot Game Engine due to having easy-to-use programming language, good support to learn it, and no fees at all income levels. Even when you finish the product, there is marketing, distribution, and maybe even maintenance. Being more specific about this game, I imagine marketing being chill, unassuming, to align with player-driven core value. Distribution could be through Google Play Store, maybe even homepages of involved non-governmental organizations. Now create your own super application and become rich and truly improve people's lives. You can even steal this idea, because my main goal is to make the world a better place. The more people will try, the bigger chance of one to succeed at creating a life-saving application. And for extra insights, I really suggest to watch Duolingo Creators TED Talk.